Hey A&Pers, this is Dr. Jones checking in. This is A&P 1, lab test 2, video 10. I think we're on 10. Okay, so on the bottom of page 18, I skipped this part. The vertebral column is called the spine, 26 vertebrae, 1 vertebra, and there are regions. So let's talk about the regions of the vertebra. So first of all, there's the skull we've talked about. His skull is off. Hello, that looks painful. Get your TMJ back together. This bone right here, just under the mandible, is called the hyoid. And it's actually kind of not attached to the rest of the skeleton, which is weird, but you know, it's like that. So these are your cervical vertebrae. The cervical vertebrae, sorry, my finger's in the way, do not have ribs. So here's the first rib. First rib actually goes above the collarbone. Back out a little. And you can see clearly from this picture that the vertebral bodies are anterior, and then the transverse processes are lateral, and rotating around, the spinous processes are posterior. And you can kind of see can you see? There you go, vertebral foramen. And the top vertebra here is the atlas C1 and then axis C2. And then we're gonna name them with the letter and number. So we've got C1, I'm not in screen, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, and C7. This vertebrae has a rib, so it's not a cervical, it's a thoracic. So we'll name those in order. Let's rotate George around here. T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, T7, T8, T9, T10, T11, T12. And that's the last one with a rib. So that's the last thoracic. And then we have the lumbars, L1, L2, L3, L4, and L5. And then the sacrum, and moving back to the front, the coccyx. That's your little tailbone. All right, so the cervicals, there were 7. So it's like you eat breakfast at 7. I mean, I don't eat breakfast at 7 because I am not a morning person in any way, shape, or form, but I'm told people do wake up before 7 and eat breakfast at 7. Which, no, I don't understand and I'm not capable of. But there you go, that's why I teach evening classes. Okay, and then we've got 12 thoracics, they're their ribs. Hello. And so you eat lunch at noon, and then 5 lumbars, so you eat dinner at 5. And then, sorry, my finger's in the way, the sacrum and the coccyx. And let me rotate again. The sacrum, sorry, is fused vertebrae. 1, 2, 3. So these are S1, S2, S3, S4. And then the coccyx is a bunch of tiny little fused little vertebrae bits. Okay. While we are here, let's talk about the ribs. There are 3 types of ribs, and these are not on page 18. These are at the bottom of page 19. There are 12 pairs of ribs in both males and females. I'm gonna say it again. There are 12 pairs of ribs in both males and females. It makes a great story, but there are 12 pairs of ribs in both males and females. So the ribs go part way around, and then where they stop, you have costal cartilage. And remember, this is costal, not coastal. So this stuff here is costal cartilage, and it attaches the ribs to the sternum in front. The sternum has 3 parts, the manubrium, and then there's that line, and the body, there's another line, and then the xiphoid process. And make sure you get the spelling on xiphoid right. It's Xiphoid. Compare that to the spelling of coccyx, Coccyx. So that one's got a Y, and xiphoid process has an I. Okay. Now there are 3 different types of ribs. So the first 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, got an orange pipe cleaner on it. These go to a costal cartilage that goes to the sternum. And they start in the back, of course, at the vertebrae. So these go from the vertebrae to the sternum directly. So these are called vertebrosternal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 8, 9, and 10, let's see if I can get the screen where you can see this, start at the vertebrae, of course, and they go to cartilage that ends at cartilage. It doesn't end at the sternum, it ends at the cartilage. And the term for cartilage is chondro. So 8, 9, and 10, these three, are vertebrochondral ribs. I don't think they've got a pipe cleaner, and I didn't bring an extra, so. And then you have these two down here with a red pipe cleaner, and they start at the vertebrae and they just end. So these are just vertebral ribs. Now, in practice, these first 7 are called true ribs. The rest are called false ribs, with the bottom 2 being floaters. That is not for credit on this lab test if I'm grading it. I want to see vertebrosternal, vertebrochondral, or vertebral. Okay, let's see. Oh, I did bring a pipe cleaner. There we go. 8, 9, and 10. I can't do this one-handed. 8, 9, and 10 are your vertebrochondral. Almost. Oh, I got it. Magic. 8, 9, and 10, because they go to cartilage, that ends at cartilage. All right. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. This has been Dr. Jones with A&P 1, Lab Test 2, video, I think 10. The education must go on. Dr. J out.